Most inventors I talk to want a more passive journey. What do we mean by that? They want to invent the product and get it out in the marketplace and have it generate what we call mailbox money. That means the checks are coming in each month and there is little to nothing that you're doing on a day-to-day basis to make that happen. That's the dream. Most of us know that that's not quite how it works out in practice. And in this video, I want to show you the sequence of when you should be thinking about automating different parts of your business to move you along on that journey from where you're at today to a mostly automated passive future. So we're going to talk about 3 things that you absolutely will be automating quickly, one that you should be careful of, and one that you absolutely should never automate. So let's get into it right now. Okay, inventor, passive journey, mailbox money. That is the dream. You want to get that product done. You want to get it out into the marketplace and kind of live that life on the beach that we all want. So this video is all about when you sequence those automations. It's not just about automating one piece of the business. There are a lot of pieces of the business that really throw inventors and founders for a loop. In this video, I want to talk about exactly in what order you should do those, because that's critical. If you automate the wrong thing at the wrong time, you're going to miss critical pieces of information. So, first thing you need to automate is accounting and finance. This should be pretty easy, but if you are kind of watching the dollars and cents of the business, it's important to obviously watch the P&L. You don't want to lose track of that. But the mechanics of doing that, getting right away having QuickBooks Online, some of the AI features in that tool are really good. Making sure that you have a CPA or someone who is working on the books for you. This is critical. The more you're watching those kind of dollars and cents come through and you're figuring out what accounting category do I need to put this inventory expense in, or this new CAD software, where does that go and how does that go for tax implications? That sort of thing is not driving a lot of value for your business. I think you would agree, but you absolutely must keep track of it. So one of the first things you should be automating is get off of a spreadsheet, get off the box of receipts in the corner, get into QuickBooks or some similar type of software, and get a CPA or a bookkeeper who will work directly with you and then give you reports on a weekly or monthly basis to make sure that you stay informed, but you are not doing the dirty work inside those files. And this is a theme that's really critical to understand, is automating does not mean no accountability. You are absolutely accountable for that, but if you set up an automated system, you can make sure that things are happening behind the scenes. You never miss a tax filing date. You never miss payroll. You never miss any of those other things, a payment to a supplier. You start missing those, and they completely derail your passive vision that you're going for. Automated up front the right way takes a lot of stress off later, but make sure you maintain accountability. And that's what I do personally, is I have a CPA who provides reports along with my QuickBooks file that also gives me day-to-day access if I ever really want it. Second thing to automate, especially for physical products, is fulfillment. Again, in the beginning, you're probably got inventory coming into your house or your business address, like a UPS store, FedEx office, or wherever you've set up for that. You've got the inventory in your garage. You're doing the packaging yourself. You're doing the mailing and shipping yourself. And in the beginning, that totally makes sense. You just have to have that kind of hands-on with it. You have to know what you are automating. This is one of the key things that Grant Martin and I talk about on the Invent With Me community, is until you really understand the nuts and bolts of the process, you don't want to automate anything. You automate things because, remember, it's all about making sure you have accountability, right? If you don't understand what you're doing, you can't have accountability for it. So you need to do that first. We are all doing that kind of hand fulfillment in the beginning. But once you've passed that point and you've got a system down, now is the time to look at a 3PL, third-party logistics, or if you're going FBA, fulfillment by Amazon, whatever the case may be, you'll understand what the value of what they're charging you is. In the beginning, if you look at FBA and it's 25, 30%, or you look at a 3PL company and they're charging you whatever, it can be really disheartening to look at that number and think, wow, why am I giving away this amount of my margin for something that just doesn't seem like it's delivering that much value to me? Until you've done that yourself and you've struggled going to the post office and sat behind four people who are just not moving or they have no idea how to label a box, you will not really understand how important a 3PL organization is. So once you've got your accounting set and you know your dollars and cents, you can move on to fulfillment because you'll understand how much of your margin that you can give to fulfillment, and you'll know the nuts and bolts and the difficulty of it. So you know you want to take that off your plate. Don't do fulfillment before accounting because you really have to understand what your margin, your real margin is on the product so that you don't give away too much of that in fulfillment. All right, now we've got our accounting set up, got fulfillment. The next thing to automate is quality control. Here's what I mean. Once we're in market with our product, one of the biggest risks from a manufacturing perspective, and assuming you're manufacturing somewhere and you've kind of automated that already, you've outsourced that already, quality control is critical because product quality can drift over time. You can get a bad batch. And if that slips through and customers see that, it can, again, ruin that whole passive idea. You need to be able to automate the process of getting those quality control checks in place. What does that look like? Obviously, one of the key ways you can do that is have the manufacturer do that and submit reports. That's great. That should be the base level that they're doing self-inspection and giving you that kind of quality report. The second thing is make sure every once in a while you get one of those products mailed to you and have it come from a place that they have your wife buy it or your husband buy it or have a family member do it so that the manufacturer, the fulfillment place doesn't know it's you. You pick it up and you can do an unboxing and inspect it yourself. You should be planning on doing that every 30 days, every 60 days when you're in full fulfillment. If you're in a retail store, go to that store and actually just buy one and see what that experience is like and actually tear it down and make sure it's meeting your quality standard. Once you get to that next step and you're selling enough, go to a third-party quality control provider who will go through the process of doing that kind of tear down inspection and full quality report for you. If you're a part of the Invent With Me community, you can see some of that in the thread. I saw it, we're recording this kind of mid-July. I saw some really good resources in there just a few days ago, but ask the community. There are plenty of resources depending on the product you've got. So those are the first three that you absolutely should be automating. First, accounting, then fulfillment, then quality control. Again, the whole idea is you are maintaining accountability while you are automating the nuts and bolts and the dirty work of that process. All right, now the next one is where you need to be careful in automating. You absolutely want to, but you got to be careful. And this is sales and marketing. Sales and marketing seems like it would be a great thing to automate. You want that kind of engine going. The keywords are happening and sales are coming in. The funnel is working. You just put more money into the top and then it shoots out the bottom with orders. What most people would tell you is that all tactics in marketing and sales work for a little while. All markets evolve. You just have to understand that. I wrote a whole book on timing. Back over there, read that. All markets evolve. That means that the things that worked a month ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, may not work today. They may change. You need to be constantly taking a look at that to really understand what's happening. I know a lot of inventors want to spend the time actually inventing and working on the product. That's the passion. I totally understand that. However, you will be able to automate that process only once you understand it yourself. Remember, you cannot outsource accountability. You are accountable to that process, but you need to understand it. understanding it means doing it yourself for a certain amount of time. That doesn't mean you don't get help here and there, but you need to be the one that figures out how to set up a sales channel with a distributor, how to be on Amazon, how to set up your own web store. I know it's hard. I know it's clunky, but you absolutely need to do it yourself so that when you go to find an automation partner, when you go to hire someone, you really understand what parts of the process are hard, what parts are not hard, and how much of your margin you're willing to give up for that. That part is critical. So yes, you will automate sales and marketing, but it's one of the later things you do, and you want to be careful because things are going to change. Ideally, with your accounting, your fulfillment, and with your quality control, those things should be pretty well locked. Sales and marketing, though, evolves, and that's why it's difficult to automate in the same way. Now, I promised you the last one that you absolutely should not ever, ever, ever automate, and I see it all the time, and it's a massive mistake: customer service. Never automate customer service. You have a customer contacting you with a problem or a question. Why on earth would you not want to hear that directly? I know it's tempting, like, oh, the chatbot can answer their question quickly. Who cares what the chatbot can do? You want that personal relationship with the customer, and here's why. When you answer their question, they said, holy crap, I got to talk with the inventor of the product who walked me through the technical issue. I am hooked for life. That is an emotional connection with your product that is absolutely irreplaceable. No bot will give you that. So when you generate that kind of goodwill with a customer, they're not just going to keep using the product and be happy about it. They are going to advocate for you. They are going to be some of your best salespeople. And yeah, if it gets a little bit overwhelming, you can have a queue. There's software that can help you out with that. But trust me, if your product is good and you've got great accounting work, you know your numbers, you've done your fulfillment, you've got good quality control, you've got your good sales and marketing messaging is all locked in, you're not over-promising, you're not making claims you can't back up, customer service is going to be a great source of intel for you. Not only will you make good customers, you have an opportunity. You've got someone on the line right there where you could ask them, what else would you like this product to do? What else is going on? What else could I invent for you that would help you and that you would want to buy? You'd be surprised. A lot of your best ideas are going to come from your customers. And most inventors who have been around the block a few times, like me, will tell you that I'm not smart. I just listen well. That's really what it comes down to. They'll tell you, you just have to be open to it. So make sure you are not automating any of your customer service. You need it. So what things did I miss in this video? What parts of your business are you thinking about automating and don't know how to go about it? Drop those links in the comments and let's talk about it maybe on a future video. Until then, see you on the next one.